IRGC did what they always do. They opened fire on a crowd of mourners in a cemetery. You can actually hear the gunfire in this clip. Security vehicles racing through the streets, people running, and the regime shooting at families who came to bury their dead. After this incident, security forces flooded every major city in Iran. Here in Abdan, in the broad daylight, you can see heavily armed vehicles patrolling the street. Same thing in Masad, Iran's second largest city. Security forces riding on motorcycles with rifles. And earlier in the same city, protesters were chanting, "Death to the dictators and death to the mullahs." And then we have Tehran, the capital city. Here we can see the main square being filled with security forces, water cannons, and black vans. The regime is treating this like a military operation. They're not taking any chances, and that's for a good reason. Let me explain why this moment is so dangerous for the Ayatollah. Because what's happening right now follows a very specific pattern, the same pattern that destroyed the Shah. Here's what most people forget. The revolution that toppled the Shah did not start in 1979. It started in January 1978. Protesters took to the street, and security forces killed some of them to calm down the protest. Then there was a pause, exactly 40 days. Now you may be asking, why 40 days? You see, in Shia Islam, there's a mandatory 40-day mourning period after a death. So family members would mourn, and then on the 40th day, they would gather again to honor the dead. The mourning would quickly turn into a protest, and this time it would be much bigger than before. This cycle repeated over and over again. Protest, killing, 40 days of mourning, bigger protest, more killings, another 40 days, and even bigger protest. This continued for more than 13 months. Each cycle, the crowd grew larger and larger until February 1979, when the Shah just had to flee the country. And now, well, Khamenei saw this happen back then, and he's seeing this happen again. We are approaching exactly 40 days since January 8th and January 9th massacres, when the regime killed tens of thousands of its own people. The mourning period is ending and the protests are restarting. That's why the IRGC is shooting at mourners before they have time to gather. Now, based on reports coming out of Iran, it seems there's a major protest scheduled for tonight, which would be February 18th in Iran because of the time zone differences. So we'll keep you guys updated on that for sure. Now, while all of this is happening on the streets, the Ayatollah was giving a speech. And it's safe to say that he did not sound like someone who was ready to negotiate with the United States. Just take a listen to what he was saying.
It seems to them that he keeps saying it. The U.S. president says that the U.S. military is the strongest military in the world. The strongest military in the world. Sometimes it might choke so hard that it can't even swallow. He said, "We sent an aircraft carrier toward Iran." All right. An aircraft carrier, of course, it's a dangerous weapon. But even more dangerous than an aircraft carrier is the weapon that can drag it to the depths of the sea. The U.S. president, in one of his recent speeches, said that for 47 years, the United States has not been able to eliminate the Islamic Republic. He complained to his own people 47 years that the United States has not been able to eliminate the Islamic Republic. This is a good confession. I say, you won't be able to do it now either.
At the same time, he was also posting on Twitter. His message was pretty clear. He says, Americans say, let's negotiate over your nuclear energy, and the result of the negotiation...
Te presto 10.000 euros. Te enseño a invertirlos. Te doy acceso a un canal privado en el que te comparto absolutamente todas mis operaciones para que las copies. Si ganas dinero, te lo quedas. Y solo me tienes que dar un pequeño porcentaje del beneficio.
The result of the negotiation is supposed to be that you do not have this energy. If that's the case, there's no room for negotiation. But if negotiations are truly take place, determining the outcome of the negotiations in advance is a wrong and foolish act. Now, for someone who's supposedly 80 years old, this is a very elementary way of looking at things. First of all, in any negotiations, both parties have some sense as to what they are negotiating for, like what the goal should be. And secondly, the United States is not saying that Iran cannot have nuclear energy. What they are saying is that you cannot have nuclear enrichment. US is saying that you can build as many reactors as you want for nuclear energy, just don't build any facilities to enrich uranium. You can get the uranium that you need from other countries who already have these facilities. This is actually a very common thing. Many Western countries like Spain, Belgium, Switzerland, Sweden do the exact same thing. They have nuclear power plants, but they import the uranium they need for those power plants. So, what is being asked of Iran is really not something that's very unique. And I'm pretty sure the Supreme Leader knows this, but he's not saying it out loud because that would kill his argument. But on top of this, the Supreme Leader also said that Iran's missile program is not up for discussion at all. It's not even on the table. And to show how serious Iran is, they actually fired a missile into the Strait of Hormuz and destroyed a ship. It was their own ship, an empty target, but they broadcasted it on their national television. The message to the United States was clear. Our missiles work, so don't test us. So, this was all the backdrop for the Geneva negotiations. There were protests restarting in Iran, foreigners were being shot, the Ayatollah publicly saying he doesn't want to negotiate, and missiles being fired at like empty ships. Safe to say, it was not a good way to start negotiations, and the talks ended in just a few hours. Here's what we know as to what happened. Iran came up with some new ideas as to how to get a nuclear deal. They say they are willing to pause enrichment for 3 years, but not give it up completely. They're also willing to transfer some, but not all of their enriched uranium to Russia. Now here's the context about this uranium. Iran has about 200 kilograms of uranium that's enriched to 60%. Now, nuclear energy or nuclear power plants only require roughly 3 to 5% enrichment. But on the other hand, nuclear weapons require 90% enrichment or maybe even more. Iran is sitting at 60%, way past the civilian needs, but not quite weapons grade. That 60% stockpile has become their bargaining chip. They're offering to give it up in exchange for sanctions relief. But this isn't close to what the US is demanding. US wants Iran to halt enrichment, they want the missile program completely stopped, and they also want Iran to stop killing protesters, which Iran is flat out refusing because Iran calls it a domestic matter, which means US has no say in it. Now here's something interesting that happened after the talks ended. Iran told the US that they will have a more detailed proposal in 2 weeks. Now, that 2 weeks sounded familiar to a lot of people. You see, last year, President Trump himself said that he'll decide within 2 weeks whether to pursue diplomacy or strike Iran's nuclear program. Well, 3 days after he made that comment, he ordered Operation Midnight Hammer. And now Iran is saying give us 2 weeks. I don't know if it's actually meaningful, but I think it was worth noting. And while Iran asked for 2 weeks, the US military buildup continues. In fact, in just last 24 hours, we have had a second aircraft carrier arrive in the region. And on top of that, we have heard about a third one going there. And on top of all this, in just last 24 hours, more than 50 fighter jets have arrived in the region. This armada just keeps on growing every single day. And the way the negotiations are going, and the comments that the Supreme Leader is making, it does make you wonder if there's a strike coming very soon. So be sure to hit the subscribe button down below. I'll keep you guys updated. My name is Sam. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Not all imports are bad. Some are great, like fast, free fiber. Switch to Optimum fiber-powered internet for as low as $25 a month, plus get 3 months free with a 5-year price lock. Click now. This fast, free fiber offer.
It's a low level. It's a low level. You gotta help that table, nigga. Alright.
Illegal aliens are invading our country, stealing our votes, trying to rig elections, and I just simply ask myself, what would Himmel the hero do? Well, Himmel the hero would kick their butts out of our country ASAP. So that is exactly why I am going to support what Himmel would do in this very moment. All right, now to understand, 100,000 visas have been revoked recently from students and people that are coming into our country. The colossal W. Even though everyone's saying nothing's happening, a lot is happening. Not enough is happening. Not enough is happening. Don't get me wrong. We need to be stuffing these people in cans and launching them across the equator, as she would say. But in my opinion, we got to talk about the W's that are happening. For example, the foreign national that was arrested multiple times for domestic violence, public intoxication, plus violating bail. No regard for decency or law. Visa revoked. They got rid of their visa because they're liberal. I don't want in the country. We have enough of our own to deal with. Right? This is my stance. This is all I have to say. If you are not American, the only reason you should be coming here is if it makes America just a little bit better. Send them away. Get rid of them all. I don't think this is my stance. Oh, not listening into me. Oh, yeah? Well, you're going to sexually assault me. All right? So if I don't admit that you're pro-sexual assault of minors, no, of course not. I wouldn't. No, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. That is the leftist position. Stop. So, anyway, floodgates have closed. Speed have 10,000 kilometers per hour. We need to fight justice as Trump reports. So, I'll try. That not enough people another 30 million people that would be diabolical. I start with that. Some people are saying 50 million. You know, start with 30 million, then we'll reevaluate it. All right? I'm not a radical in any way. I'm a moderate individual. All right? All of my stances are normal. Right? People call me radical because of my normal stance. That's right. No, that is a normal position. We need borders, we need laws, we need to support people that invade our countries, and I don't actually want our fake democracy to get stolen by illegal that are getting voting for illegal. Nuclear day, get them out of here. Don't wait, enough support today. And spend this Valentine's Day with what you love. I love it. I usually hate them for a while. Now, we have to talk about the executive. So this is the mayor of Chicago. The Chicago mayor, Brandon Johnson. He's retarded and gay. And this is what he had to say.
I talked to that. Also, black people. They don't see how business in Chicago for citizens. They want to side
because he is siding with the illegal Democrat mayor, very blue city. He is pushing this bullshit to protest and insurrect, in my opinion, against the United States government. It's actually related. Sir, that's what I would say.
If that had been your white state.
Okay, alright, we're not going to do it. Thank you.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Alright, that's pretty diabolical. Bro couldn't even hit them with the stop raping, sir. I'm telling you, it's the craziest thing ever. Like, when you have leftists that refuse to say the greatest line of modern entertainment, which is this, for the record, those of you not paying attention. Stop raping, sir. They refuse. They refuse to hit them with the stop raping, sir. It's honestly tragic. Alright? So, entertainment, which is this, for the record, those of you not paying attention. Stop raping, sir. They refuse. They refuse to hit them with the stop raping, sir. It's honestly tragic. Alright? So, they're like, yo, sir, there's a Nicaraguan guy, illegal in our country. He bashed a woman's head into the...
Well, my ticket is animal. This nigga. They got beat on women, nigga. Can't. Get me for animal abuse. I never fake no trick shot though. I never fake no trick shot. I say that, but no trick shot. Never say that shit. I'm gonna make that grand if I never do it. Day 4. Still can't catch a fish. What the fuck that doing, bro? Streaming on Twitch, huh? Damn, I can't even download shit on this one. What's his name again? Ron? Learn about that for Jeffrey Epstein dude. He used our school pictures like a shopping catalog, and I mean, what the fuck? Low key smart. It's a new strap. Need to patch that shit though. It's too easy. You got caught lacking. Motherfucker got 300. No one's found us yet. I'm gonna make more. You know, get them to heavy turrets. Our vehicles. I got the roofs. Yeah. Got my slave right here. Get that to it. That's where the good old days. Look at that. But you're already canceled. I'm gonna get canceled before I make. Need to make a chainsaw. I'm gonna make a chainsaw. Daniel! Dang, the server's 2. Alright, we gonna see about that. So I'm not friendly. Be an alpha. I'll be the alpha, I'm not a beta. Yo solo pienso en tus ojos. That's good, bro. What the fuck? What you mean talking to? Oh, hell no. What the fuck? Man, what the fuck? I heard that shit. You seen it on X? Oh, fuck. Yeah. They're not letting that nigga go for sure. They finna get a two. That bitch cat. You gotta kiss the wall, big. You gotta kiss the wall. You don't know if you don't close the wall. Let's see. Damn, that nigga crazy. What's he doing in Israel for? Hey, I'm the grill master, even in games. Look at that shit. I got my sartenes and shit. Got my pan. Yeah, I'm gonna use a command real quick. Let me hack the game. Close it.